So, Brandon, this is like your favorite game of all time, right?
Yes.
Or right around there.
It pretty much is.
Okay.
I mean, when this game first came out, I was blown away by how good it looked, number one, on PS2.
Uh-huh.
And I legitimately like the story.
Uh-huh.
And the characters are so good. And there's one thing that Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer of that movie,
Yes.
of the same name. Oh, hold on. Of the same name that came out a while back ago.
Right.
He said that, video games are different because they don't have the character development or anything, so we got to change it up. I'm like, no. Wrong. Every bit of what you said was wrong.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
man, I was so mad when I heard that.
So to make sure, you've played this game to completion before, correct?
I've completed it at least 4 times.
Okay. I have played about half of it, borrowing it from you before I went to college.
That's right. That was a while back ago.
That's why I stopped borrowing it from you. I had fun with it. It is weird because I just, you came obviously from a PlayStation household and I came from a Nintendo household.
Yeah.
And I do think, and I'll kind of point it out as we go, I think this game is built on a fundamentally different platforming philosophy than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'll explain it when we get to a section, but I think it's going to be interesting to, like, go through this all the way and see it to completion.
Okay. Now let's start.
All right.
The Prince of Persia. The Sands of Time. Like, down to, how he moved. I liked how he moved. A lot.
Those are a couple games that nailed it at this era.
Whoa. I gotta eat that a little bit first. Can you remember this wall still? I can't. Okay. Get into it. And through the thing. That was always the loading screen.
For, like, all the games, or?
For this game.
Okay.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say this. Sit down, and I will tell you a tale like none.
I remember when I was a kid watching this game.
No further.
I was just like, oh my god, this is the greatest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, the graphics aren't bad by today's standards. I mean, like, cutscene-wise.
Yeah.
I mean...
After that part happened, you're like, yeah.
Well, no, if this game came out today, it would be railed against for its graphics, but it holds up decently well.
Oh, yeah. I like the idea of this arrogant prince going in for honor and glory and stuff. And he has this whole arc through the whole game that, he's like, oh man, I was a total douchebag before, and humbled myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Only thing, I'll get into it in a second.
Yeah.
Do you think I felt regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought? Or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell? If you think so, you are mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
Wow. That looked a lot better when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, but I mean, graphics age, and that's fair.
Yeah, of course. So I actually really enjoyed the platforming in this game. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do my. Oh, that's right. The first time you ever do these things.
Oh, each maneuver the first time is.
Slow-mo. Because why not? Because the time, right?
Well, yeah, but.
Oh wow,
fine.
this is inverted. Ah.
That's another relic of a different era.
Oh, totally messed that up. I was going for a perfect run of making everything look cool. But that's not happening now. Okay. Even the combat in this game I liked a lot. Okay, I gotta do
What I
something about
remember
this.
that was really cool is that the platforming kind of fit into the combat.
Yeah.
Shall I go
As
on?
in,
Oh wait, I forgot. Every time I cut to this thing, like he says, "Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
yeah,
shall I go on?"
because it's like this is
He's-
him narrating.
He's retelling the whole story and stuff. And when you die, he goes like, "Oh no, that did not happen at all."
Right.
Then I'll continue.
But the thing that I thought was cool that I remember is like the combat mechanics were different for sure, but that it incorporated that he was this agile guy. Like you still are jumping over people like that. Exactly.
Look at that pose. Who
I mean-
fights like that? Look at that.
Oh,
dang
I
it,
could
I'm
see
getting-
that being based on a real pose. I'm not positive, but
I'm gonna do like a move. It's my counter move. 1 second. Okay.
is it possible that it's like, hey, you don't have this yet because we haven't told you it?
Nope. Just did it.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a cool guy. And sword away. Wow. These camera controls are way different from the way you remember them.
Yeah, I find it's always good to go back and like play an old game that you liked and just kind of remember that, yeah, even if there were things that you liked about it, it's like, let's not forget the actual improvements that were made from modern design.
I'm getting my butt handed.
There you go. That's the money
Super
shot.
slow mo. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna land on that thing.
Boom. See, I think that's really cool that like he stays an agile person in combat. Like some games have an agile guy, and then he gets into combat, and it feels way like you're just a different person. This still feels like the same guy that was running on the wall.
Yes, it does. Come on, be cool. Come on, I'm trying to be cool. There it goes. And wait, if you just stay there, watch. Yep.
Like they're like they point out like, hey, combat is over.
Yeah.
You need to stop.
Many
Oh.
men that day sought to win honor and
This is one thing I
glory
totally thought I
from
forgot about.
battle, that their king might say to
Drink
them,
some
as
water.
Khosrow said to
All
Rustam,
those cuts
"You
and,
are
you
the
know,
noblest of
war
all
wounds
warriors."
are gone.
From the moment my sword tasted blood, I knew this would not be my way. I would win my father's praise not by killing, but by being the first to find the Maharaja's treasure vault and the
The Maharaja was a real thing, right? I'm assuming.
Yes, I believe it's a title.
Okay.
I'm not positive, but I'm reasonably sure that it was a title.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put my sword away because I don't know if there's any danger yet. But oh wait, danger comes. And so do I. The big thing they made was the one big deal they made about this game when it came out was that you can fight multiple people at once. Just point the stick anywhere, and you just go right to them.
Okay, that's kind of cool though. Boom.
Come on, one of you.
It's basically.
Oh wait, watch this move. Boom.
Oh, I like that one. I remember that one because there were enemies that you basically had to use that one on.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized
What?
that pose is him putting away a dagger that he does not own yet.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I've always noticed that too. But I always like thought to myself, he's helping his sword. He's guiding his sword through. That's what I always like try to like rationalize it
Okay,
as.
sure. We'll go with it.
You're right. I told you before. Like whenever you like start striking, watch. If you just tap it, he'll stay there. He'll stay there.
Huh.
He'll stay there. He'll stay there. He'll stay there. Not there though.
That's kind of neat though because like you can string together a combo, but you can wait just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any depth to that in combat, but there certainly could be.
This could have been a short story.
I was gonna say you don't have time powers yet.
No, I do not. And it's hard whenever like you're up to your first run of this game, you automatically think, "Oh, I'll be fine." Jump. Oh. Then realization sinks in. Oh. Didn't mean to hug that thing yet. Don't you love convenient like catapults?
Yeah.
This is like back when Ubisoft tried to like do a lot. Oh my god. Oh, I just had him hit his guy. Watch this one. Wah.
Oh wow, I did not know that was one.
I tried to remember
That's
most of the
pretty
moves
cool.
in this game. See, in a Warrior Within, if you ever played that game, it was trying to be like super edgy.
Uh-huh.
Like at the same time, I liked how that game went.
Okay.
But the combat, they just went nuts with.
Nuts good or nuts bad?
I liked the combat, but like most of your weapons, besides like your main like sword,
Uh-huh.
could break. Because you never exactly just had the dagger, because the dagger wasn't a thing in that game.
I don't... Weapon degradation can work.
See, I'm not saying it
Just-
didn't work for the game. It worked pretty well.
Okay, it's one of those, it's... I think it
Yeah.
I'd have to see it.
Like, you could also, like, throw, like, say if you had one weapon and it was down to its like, last legs, you could just, like, hold, like, circle, and it would just throw it at somebody.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it would have, like, a little camera that would follow, too. Because remember, it's going to be super edgy.
This game, I do like the combat in this game. Feels like, I mean, sure, some of the animations repeat themselves, but it feels like this was made by someone who wanted to make a movie,
Uh-huh.
which makes it all the funnier that
The movie was
kinda
made.
didn't live up. But in that, it's these ridiculous high-flying like maneuvers, like, you know,
I got to do a cool guy move. There you go.
4 guys popping out of nowhere with spears and turbines, and you.
He just goes through that camera angle. And, nope. Oh, yeah, that happens occasionally, too.
Oh, the music.
Yeah, whenever you, like, drink a drink of water.
Okay.
I am taking a drink of water. That's how I always used to think it was doing, you know.
Oh, look at that.
Boom. This is also back when, like, well, not back then. All video game characters make, like, really, like, you know, insane jumps.
Well, I was raised on Mario, so insane jumps were the foundation of my gaming experience.
Oh, wow. That was gonna miss. See, I was raised on Crash Bandicoot,
Uh-huh.
and I concur.
I mean, in the first Mario game, you can probably jump 4 times your height. So,
I'm pretty sure he does it all the time, whether big or small.
yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. So, and that's... Oh, that does... I do like the way that looks a lot,
Uh-huh.
even today.
Ah.
And,
Roll.
you know what I find kind of interesting is...
And there it lay,
What?
just out of reach.
This game seems like it was around before,
There was a treasure I
well,
could
one
carry.
before YouTube, and therefore before parkour was like a thing that people talked about.
Only get there.
I like to think that the Prince of Persia, like, led to the parkour thing. It didn't. I know it didn't, but, like, I just like to think that.
Well, I think parkour started as a French thing, and, you know, Ubisoft,
Aren't they French?
yeah.
I was thinking they were.
I think they have a French location and they have a Montreal location.
Yeah. See, like, I like how these guys, like, elaborate plan to, like, keep people away from it. Is just, like, keep it out of reach.
There are worse plans.
God forbid someone come along with a stick.
There are worse plans. But
Yeah.
yes, a grabber arm could unhinge this whole thing. But I think this room kind of demonstrates just like a difference in platform philosophy than what I'm used to.
Uh-huh.
Is Mario games all about free jumps. Like,
Oh.
you have jumps that work the same way everywhere, whereas this game's like slightly more
I know. They couldn't think of
avoid
a,
spiky pulls.
They couldn't think of a better name for spiky pulls.
And not that this game is worse, and what I played of this game I liked. It's just like where the buttons are kind of more context sensitive. And not even that, like you use the walls and you use ledges more.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Mario, it's kind of like more.
in Mario, it's like it's more about the flat spaces, and you can wall kick in later games. But
I can make it. Okay, I can't make it.
you couldn't make it.
I usually can make that. And here's the thing in this game: you can't like wall run. Oh, I wasn't trying to drink, but okay. You can't wall run when there's water.
That kind of makes sense, though.
Your feet get all slippery.
Exactly.
But what
So-
was this?
Oh, I was just gonna say. So it's always weird for me. Like in these games, it's it's probably way harder for me to look for where to go just because I'm used to the Mario style of, well, yeah, I just jump there.
Yeah.
And in this game, it's like you have to think about, well, I use the wall to get here to run along. It's like, oh, man, that's just not a way I'm used to thinking.
That's why that dagger is really helpful. There's a lot of trial and error in this game.
That's what I liked about this game is you were allowed to make error.
To a certain extent, because you need to run out of sand.
Right, I almost couldn't understand. I get why you had sand you had sand combat powers, and it made sense that those had ammo, because otherwise...
Oh, my God. Oh, I forgot about that.
Because you would never use anything other than your combat powers if you had unlimited sand, but I felt like you should get infinite retries, but you usually had more than enough, I felt like. I don't know if that's true later in the game. Like if there's some pixel perfect things that you might need 6 or 7 retries for.
Yeah.
But it usually felt like you had about 3 or 4 and that they were plenty.
What was it? They tried to like revive the Prince of Persia thing on the PS3 with this god awful like Prince of Persia game. Was this called Prince of Persia? Nothing like this at all. No, nothing to do with the story. Not that matters like right now, but like because I knew that story was concluded. But there was no challenge to it. You could just mess up as much as you want and just like fall down like, oh, your super duper companion will just help me out, and all the buttons were mapped to just X. Okay,
that I would say is unfortunate. But just like, oh man, I messed up this jump. Like, I'm okay if they let me rewind this.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering what crazy maneuver you were gonna have to do. It was slide down the pole.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you gonna make that next jump? This is gonna be so hype. No, you gotta get down off the pole.
You know what's slide about poles, right, Tim?
Oh, okay. I was like, I think you're making. Oh, you are. You are making a stripper joke.
Yes, I am.
Yes, because I had. Those are the coolest fireman poles.
So, like, in the movie, they had the dumbest thing for this dagger.
I don't remember.
In the movie, they had, like, that button thing. Like, literally on the end of the dagger, on the handle.
Oh, yeah.
It was a button. I'm like, that is the most video gamey thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Granted, it's kind of like, you have to touch it a certain way in this. But also, at the same time, the dagger, you put sand in it, and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, this way was much better, because, like, you had to absorb the sand demons or whatever. Which I'm like, oh, wow, that's actually a really good idea.
Well, it's also, like, makes it a cool combat thing, that the enemies aren't dead till you absorb them.
Yep, yeah. Oh, wow, okay, I thought there was a thing.
Are there ever moments that you need to reverse time?
Me? Or
like, can you get through this game going only forwards and never backwards? Like, are there times where it's like it's a puzzle that you have to go backwards in time?
No. And I think like the other games like do a better job with that with the puzzles.
Okay, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Games don't have to have puzzles.
Yeah. This game does have puzzles.
I will only play this game if I have to reverse time.
Like Braid does a good job of that, but like this is
Braid's crazy.
This isn't Braid. This is a little bit before Braid's time.
I will only play a game if the main character's name is Tim, and I have full control over time.
And there are puzzles aplenty.
And it's ultra pretentious.
And puzzles aplenty.
Well, yeah, that too.
Look at that napkin going nuts.
I guess that's his attempt at sympathy, but
no, that's him. That's him coughing up blood. Oh yeah, he's
like oh, he's dying. That's a little sad because otherwise it's like he is the vizier. He is evil. He is evil.
That's pretty much all he amounts to.
It's well, I mean, name one vizier, someone who is a vizier who is not the worst person in the world.
You're right. All of them are bad.
Trust not a man who has betrayed his master.
See, there's one thing. In the third game, the vizier comes back. Because like in the second game,
he's probably still a bad guy.
Yeah, he is. Because in this game, he wanted to use the dagger to become basically a god. Because him with the Sands of Time and the dagger, he basically made him a god. And the last Prince of Persia game, he becomes a god.
Oh, okay.
And you gotta kill him. But like the whole thing is like he's back because the second game you mess with the timeline because you inadvertently create the sands of time yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, and
then you break up your mother and father before you were born?
no, you weren't. You're still born, but like you just mess up the timeline so much. Like,
Do you influence Huey? Do you influence Huey Lewis at all?
No, you do not.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot make Back to the Future references, Tim. You are not allowed to. You are not allowed to until you've actually seen the movie.
Well, I know that Huey Lewis is in it.
Anybody who ever watched in these comments, if you ever watched the thing, pressure Tim, please.
It's not that I wouldn't watch it; it's that I don't have a copy.
Do you remember how I told you about like Avatar: The Last Airbender? And then you're like, why didn't you pressure me enough to watch that show? I was like, I thought you'd watch it, and you actually did. And
yeah, but that was on Netflix.
this is true. This is true. Oh yeah, I get tricked. In the movie, the hourglass was like a big dumb tornado thingy.
Oh yeah, it was.
That's gonna end the world. That's what the thing was. Like, oh, that's not as like nearly as cool as this. In the movie, he dies from his father dies from like a cloak.
Oh yeah, it's poisoned.
Poison cloak, and it burns his body. Like, that makes way less sense.
I mean, there are such things as contact poisons.
Oh well, yeah, but this is so much better because like you end up having to fight him later on
Yeah.
and stuff, and like that's a big conflict for him, you know. And that line's always repeated. I have to do what you've done, and makes him mistrust Farah
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, oh wow, that's actually like kind of interesting that they did that back then.
Yeah.
Granted, the writing is now a little less as good as I thought it was once was, because now I've been spoiled with other games with better writing.
I was gonna say it's one of those writings became more important as games continued to get bigger budgets. That's always gonna be true. Oh, you got
Except
the
if you're
dagger
called-
fighting now.
No, except if you're Call of Duty.
Okay, well.
Prince, use the dagger.
I'm trying. Boom! Oh!
You got him still?
Watch this cool guy move. Hold on. Boom!
Oh yeah, I like counter moves a lot. I think that's why I like the way the combat looks. It's like all counters and parries and dodges.
I soon realized that only by taking them to my own dagger, the
Oh.
sands that possess them, could I liberate them from their monstrous
Yeah, well, if you take them in your dagger, you relieve them.
Now, finish him.
Or you are telling yourself that.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's camera. Okay. Start running. And that's why that little thing in the middle, that's also how you save your game and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also it also shows you this fight's almost over, I guess.
Okay. Oh, I also just got that. That's kind of I just got that it's kind of looks like a sand cloud.
Uh-huh.
I just got that of course a point that gets saved in time would be a spot where the sands of time have coalesced.
Yep.
That's really cool. That's really clever. I like that. I like clever story things that don't need to be explained.
Yep.
Oh, that guy looks bigger. Is it just his weapon?
That's his weapon.
Oh, they have friendly fire.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter since they regenerate, but
And if I were to actually finish one, I'm gonna slice one guy up here in a second. So, show you how their tears in their body get more war torn.
oh yeah.
Hold on. See, he's got more tears in his body,
Oh, okay.
and you can just do this little thing. Watch this. Do that before he regenerates.
Ah.
Then, oh man, this is really awesome when he does a crap ton of backflips. Then finally lands the dagger in there. It's an excessive amount of backflips. Let's just step into this thing. You get these little fever visions.
Oh, that's right.
Things to come. Sometimes these fever visions, like you see your repeat vision, would mislead you sometimes
Really?
on purpose. Yeah.
That's That's interesting. I could see it also being really frustrating and feel really unfair.